Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
No topic too... Oh, wow, I screwed myself up. No topic too asinine. No, wow, I'm all over the place. No topic too absurd. No question too asinine. But what the fuck is going on in my head today? Okay, there we go. From scratch. No topic too absurd. No statement too asinine. No question too interesting. That's what it is. We're doing an interview show this week. That threw me off. I'm Mike. That's...
Justin.
We also have... No sound from you? Nothing?
No.
Me? Okay. We also have...
Vin.
And last off, Joe. All right, we're on a bang-up starter. We are doing an interview with writer, I believe, Justin Koch, of the title, I get this right, I get something right today, Secret Wizard Assault Team. Please, Justin, lay out the concept for us.
Well, it's actually called SWAT, but it's short for Secret Wizard Assault Team. And it's basically what if Harry Potter were a busted-up St. Louis detective grinding out the days until his pension, and then things go horribly, horribly wrong. That's the super short elevator pitch for it.
It's a strong elevator pitch.
Well, thank you. It's just it's a horror comedy at the start, and it's a lot more, but it's an unhinged horror comedy adventure. It involves hunting vampires and shoggoths and cruise ships and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
the clip you sent us to get a little bit familiar with it had an obvious Law and Order inspiration to it. Does the whole thing kind of play like that? And by that, I also mean, is it individual episodic stories, or is there like an overarching thing?
It's 36 issues. It's one continuous story. I kind of mentally block off 1 through 18 as one novel, and 19 through 36 is the second. I don't know. It kind of takes on a life of its own. It starts out with me playing around with a lot of the classic, Law and Order or 80s police movie tropes, and then it sort of expands from there into its own weird space. But you're going to there's a lot of to some degree, a lot of it's about growing up as a nerd in the 80s and 90s in Missouri. So there's some deep track, references to stuff that I think most people will get, but maybe not.
So, like you mentioned Missouri specifically, is it kind of regional at times?
Well, I mean, it's set in St. Louis, and I live in Columbia, Missouri, which is right in the middle. If this were yesterday, the cicadas would be so loud you could probably pick them up on my laptop. We got the double brood going pretty hard here, but it's very Missouri in the sense that I'm writing about people kind of I know, and how I write dialogue that sounds like how people talk, and to me that's Missouri because that's where I spent my whole life. So there's it's grounded in this location because I think that adds to it, right? I mean, it's better than me trying to pretend like I know what living in New York is, for instance.
I personally tend to agree with that you kind of write where you are at the very least. Like if it's something realistic or set in the real world, it's better to set it where you're from. Like we have a comic as well, and we decided to set it on the Jersey Shore. It's where we are, and it also has monsters and stuff. Which actually kind of leads to my next question. Would you call it a dialogue-heavy book? Because I'm one of the writers of ours, and it's been criticized for being a bit dialogue-heavy.
Well, I mean, if you mean that it's a lot like, From Hell, where it just seems, it's at points you feel like you're getting political speeches for pages at a time, no. I mean, I don't think it is. The dialogue is sharp, it's punchy. Hopefully it's the opposite of, kind of too much. Usually it's one sentence, pretty short sentences going back and forth, not blocks of paragraphs.
Yeah, that
shouldn't be obnoxious. I'm sure somebody will hate it, but
that's what's come down on my shoulders sometimes. That I tend to, when I'm writing stuff, ramble on a bit. But I like being verbose. That's just me.
Well, everybody has their style. Whatever works for you. If people like it, they like it. there's nothing wrong. It would be boring if everyone had the same style. So I'm totally fine with people going all over the place. The one thing I don't like about comic dialogue is when it starts sounding like a Ren Fair. You know what I mean? That the kind of off pseudo Elizabethan English sometimes gets me. But I do think if you're going to do a dialect, you should be extremely fluent in it. So, yeah.
You're specifically the writer, yes? You don't handle any of the art. How did you hook up with the artist?
I was hanging out on a Discord server, and Brent Fisher basically put an ad up for it, for her, because they're friends, and he kind of is friends with me, sort of. And then, we just connected from there. As soon as I saw her art, I was like, yes. I mean, like, I'd spent a week or two hunting for the right artist. I was almost signed with somebody else, and then I kind of started having doubts once it was time to put up the cash, and ended up, once I saw her, the other one got fired, basically. But because she's just the perfect mix of serious and comic for what SWAT is.
I imagine that's got to be stressful and a little bit frustrating having to search. We were very lucky in that we had artistic ability and writing ability in-house, so that was never a question. Well, at least penciling and inking. I don't have much faith in my colors, but I can drag and drop with the best of them, so there's that.
I'm thinking about trying to teach myself lettering, not to necessarily save money, but just because I feel like it would be nice to be able to do that myself and not rely on somebody else's, vision and how, like sometimes they bold words and I don't know why they did. You know what I mean? And they're picking up something that I'm not, but then maybe they're probably better off or better at it than I am, or obviously they're better at it. But I think it would be interesting to at least play around with it, as the writer.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, because if you're creating the words, you want to curate exactly where they're placed, and you have a bit more of a direct connection with the artist, and you can plan ahead what areas should be sacrificed for the words. That's always one of the things we go back and forth on, is I'll do a page and I won't sometimes leave enough room for lettering, so you got to kind of squeeze it in there, or I'll just be like, just cover it, just cover part of the face, don't worry about the words. I find are 1% more important than the art a lot of the time.
Well, you got to get the message in. So are you the writer or the artist?
A little bit of both. Well, a lot of bit of one, a little bit of the other. I co-write. I co-wrote it off of the ground with Justin, and then we brought Kyle in after that to help us punch it up a lot. He's our voice of reason, which I know he doesn't quite agree with. I find when we get, I don't know about you, when you get into storytelling, you know what you intend to tell, you know the point you're trying to make, and sometimes you'll put stuff down and then someone will read it and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's always good to have someone early on in the process to ask you that question before you start printing something.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you should, I guess letters like to complain about people sending them incomplete drafts and stuff, and I'm like, why would you even do that? You know what I mean? Like, that should be at the final stage for sure. But, yeah, I mean, I think lettering is really important, and especially when you're trying to do comedy in a comic format, timing and it's very, there's a lot of space for like the little stuff to make a big difference when you're trying to do comedy in a format that's, not the best for it, right? I mean, it's a little bit, like with movies, you can have the actor sort of pump it up, right, and make a line work that maybe wouldn't work otherwise. But in the comic, you just got to make it funny. Like, there's no bad lines. You can't afford any bad lines. So
yeah, kind of like with special effects, when it's done right, lettering should be unnoticed. It should just flow.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's that. I would like to play with. I don't know. We'll see if I ever even do anything about it. I got a book on lettering, and I made it 3 pages, and it's kind of been sitting there for a week. So we'll see if it actually happens or not. But what's your comic called?
Does anyone else have technical issues? Nope.
No. It's called Dark Days of Brickdom.
Okay. I was wondering if that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
I will definitely check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, if you, it's not, it's not digital anywhere yet. But
it's on eBay for $474.
Yes, it is. I don't know
Someone
why.
really wants to recoup their investment of $5.
$5 investment.
Okay, well, look.
They thought very highly of us.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They're the one.
Yeah. They're our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Justin,
Yeah.
You said 80s, 90s nerdy influences. Do you care to divulge some of them, or do you want to talk about some of your personal 80s, 90s nerdy?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of overlap with those two questions. There's a scene that happens. It's in flashback to Unicon '99, which was a convention in Joplin. I think that it didn't actually happen in '99. It happened in '98, but I was there for it, and so I used that in that scene. I've never LARPed. I LARPed once in my life, but it was an experience that I remember to this day. Like everybody was pretending to be vampires while the waitress was taking our orders. I'm like, can we just pause for a minute? It was fun. Magic the Gathering's in there quite a bit. D&D is pretty much just the nerdy stuff that I did in high school, which was pretty nerdy, so.
Because when you said, in my mind, because I'm a dork, you said 80s police movies, I automatically went Police Academy.
I went Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like the stuff that, not even the good ones. I'm talking about the bad ones, like the Roger Corman,
Ooh.
Rest in power, King.
Action USA. I don't know if that was a cop movie, but like the bad action movies of the 80s, like the stuff that you rented at Blockbuster because you thought there'd be boobs in it, and that's the only
Turned out that was the best part of the whole thing.
That was the sell. That's why you were there.
Pretty much.
I don't think people these days can even understand how starved for porn the boys of the 80s and 90s were, but it was rough times.
They don't know.
Yeah.
You could sneak them into a PG-13 movie and no one cared.
Yeah. I figured that out. If you just buy a ticket to Hello Kitty Island Adventure and then go to the bathroom, you can just walk into any movie you want. No one cares. I watched a lot of R-rated films that way. As long as you don't make a jackass out of yourself, no one's going to care. But yeah, there's a lot of that. I accidentally discovered tentacle rape about 10 years before the rest of the world, or the rest of America. That was unpleasant. I do not like it.
Randomly run into tentacle rape. Like what?
I was trying to explore anime, and so I went to the store and I rented some anime, just some random anime, and then
See, it wasn't a good time then either. You were only getting like that kind of anime on the shelves.
It was Ghost in the Shell, Akira, and I guess tentacle rape. So that's why I don't really do anime too much. Is it always that threw me? I mean, like, not only was it deeply unawesome, but like, can you imagine your mom walking in on you watching that shit and trying to explain what is happening?
It's a cartoon.
I didn't know, Mom. I swear, like they would never believe you, right? So I just that got returned real fast.
Trust me, Mom. It's important to the story.
Yeah. Ugh, I can still remember it. It was gross. It was a really long name too. I think it started with an M. But anyway, yeah. So that was that.
I probably watched it.
I wish I hadn't said that. This is well, whatever. We're not going to.
Oh no, you
Don't worry
You can go
about
Crimson. You can go Blue.
Yeah.
We're not concerned.
Not at all. Also,
Yeah.
I've probably watched it a couple times. I'm a big anime fan.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of it, but that did kind of throw me.
Yeah, I mean the more modern stuff is a little bit more tasteful, like Food Wars. There's nothing wrong with that one. That's about cooking, and they all have orgasms when they eat.
You gonna try and sell another person on Food Wars? Is that your gimmick today?
Dude, look, Food Wars is great.
Okay, I'll check it out. So I stopped watching Attack on Titan a few years ago.
Me too.
Oh, well, I was going to ask how many people in his class are now Titans? Is it all of them? Is it 80%?
Like, yeah, I mean, I stopped watching it regularly. I know what happens. Yeah, well, like, everybody. They can all do it. No one's special anymore.
After, like, season 3, I'm like, this is a Battlestar Galactica, everyone's a Cylon bullshit.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
When it dropped that, like, the spoilers, it was just, like, random dudes who could do it. I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah. That was kind of my reaction, is he was like, I mean, it wasn't bad, it was just like, okay, you know, I don't need to have this drag out for 10 more seasons, I know where it's going to go.
Yep.
I mean, the whole thing looked cool, but it lost me when there's like, all right, there's these giant things attacking this ringed city, and the only way we can stop them is by shooting these ropes from our waist and cutting them. Didn't have any other weapons to fight these things with. That's the best method. It's very Japanese.
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of verges into don't question the premise, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, but, yeah, I can see your point.
Just enjoy, you know?
Like, make a ballista.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tip it with cyanide. There you go. But anyway, I mean, that's kind of the same problem with, like, Pacific Rim, right? Like, just do a drone strike. What are you talking about? You know? Like, you could definitely make a missile that would be better than punching and just shoot them from a million miles away, but that would kill the movie, so don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever watched any pitch meetings, any of the web series pitch meeting?
No, I haven't.
It's if you like 5-second bites of comedy where they tear movie premises apart, that one's great, especially because later on in the run, he got to the catchphrase where at a certain point, there's quick breakdown. There's two characters, producer guy and director guy, producer guy and writer guy. Right, and they're the same person talking back and forth at each other. And eventually, producer guy always asks the question, well, why would they do that? And writer guy answers, so the movie could happen.
What was it called?
Pitch meeting. I believe it's College Humor or Funny or Die. I'm not sure who it's connected, but if you just type pitch meeting in...
Hi, everybody. It's me, Ryan George, from the thing you're currently watching.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of those shows that I'll find stuff will come up on my YouTube feed and I'll be like, yeah, The Room. Let's rip on The Room, or let's rip on Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, The Avengers. How dare you make fun of The Avengers? That's a fucking perfect movie.
Have you guys heard of Best of the Worst?
No.
Red Letter Media, the Plinkett Star Wars review guy. You've heard of it. Anyway, they do stuff like they just take 3 old, horrible, 80s action movies and just do an hour-long episode where they kind of take all the highlights of all the most ridiculous stuff. It's great. Suburban Sasquatch. You should check that one out.
I'm not going to claim I have great taste in stuff. I'm still a huge Highlander fan, and I'll admit, that movie's kind of trash.
It works. I mean, it's fun. I don't understand why that guy does so many backflips. Like, it just, but whatever. That's fine.
Because, if you could, wouldn't you?
Backflip everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, heading to the bookstore.
Yeah. If I was Ray Park, I'd be just doing flips everywhere. Spinning a staff, flipping constantly.
They probably filmed it, and they're like, this is too good to just leave it. We gotta edit it out. We gotta get to 90 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad. I mean, if you watch enough Best of the Worst, you realize that like there's a cutoff, right? Like 1996 before their actual B movies, and then after that, it's just perverts. It's just dudes doing their weird sex video, right? Like there's what is it? There's a Gator. It's a movie where this guy who is the writer, who's like this 400-pound dude. He's super attractive to women, and he keeps giving them orgasms, and they turn into crocodiles. Like it's some sort of film video.
That's great.
Wow.
But I can't remember the name of it right now. But it's either Croc or Gate or something. But that kind of stuff, right? And then there's Lycan Colony, where the guy shows up and it's a werewolf movie where the guy has a giant furry suit.
Yeah.
I've seen the Riff Tracks version of Lycan Colony. I have not seen it. Are you a Mystery Science Theater, that kind of riff fan?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's just a lot of the times the movies are so bad, it's hard to keep up with make it watchable, even with the jokes.
Yeah, that's one where I almost tapped out because the werewolf change is really just taping fur on someone's face and cutting away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do stuff, So I don't.
Listen,
it's hard.
I've sat through.
I have a weird respect for it, but anyway, go ahead.
Have you ever sat through Zombiever?
No.
Ooh, you want real good low budget special effects? It's like a Davy Crockett cap is like pulled across the floor in some scenes.
Okay. Oh, that does look fun. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, we're just trading supplies now. We're just handing back and forth things that we can feed off of to make fun of or just fill in time and point and laugh at. It's not the first time it's happened on this show. We have a guest on and it's just, have you seen this piece of shit? Oh no, I got a piece of shit that beats that piece of shit.
Well, I mean, hey.
Oh, we have a bit of a interview tradition.
Mm.
Don't roll your eyes at me, Kyle. We like to talk pizza.
This is just a you tradition.
Yeah, I know, but I'm part of the show. So.
It's not a we have the tradition. It's a you.
Yeah. But you play along. Missouri. We like to discuss pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had pizza in Missouri. Are you guys?
An important question, though, is Missouri important? Is pizza important in Missouri? Because there's a lot of places in the country that they don't give a rat's ass about. Like Texas doesn't care about pizza.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, barbecue and Mexican food apparently is huge there, and you have to search to find even mediocre pizza. Now, is pizza an important part of Missouri life?
It is for me. I think, I think Kansas City, St. Louis, Columbia all have like pretty serious pizza and beer hangouts. I mean, it's not just fast food. In Columbia, it's Shakespeare's Pizza. It's kind of the dominant hometown place. It's just wood benches and beer and pizza.
Ooh.
I don't know that God bless, but there's St. Louis style pizza, which I don't even remember what that is, but past that, we don't have our own brand of pizza besides that. It's just pretty straightforward pizza. But I mean, it's pizza and beer is just, you can't beat it. It's just a fun time.
Perfect combo.
It's perfect.
Yeah, they come up a couple times in SWAT actually, because that's sort of their go-to like hangout is just go get pizza and beer somewhere. So
good, smart move.
Good.
Bring it back to the product.
Yeah,
that you sell. SWAT.
Well, I mean, there is a connection there. So SWAT it's a really, I mean, it's the greatest thing I've ever written. I'll just say that it's without a doubt. It's just good. It's funny. It's the through line. The characters are great. I'm very proud of it, and I think all we're looking for right now is email signups. We don't even need money at this point. We're just trying to get signups to get to the point where the campaign can launch. So the fact that there's 4 of you is actually really awesome, since you can each sign up. So that's where we're at with it. Is it's on Zoop, which is it's a lovely website. I guess it's kind of hard to get traction there to some degree because it's not anywhere near Kickstarter in terms of popularity, but we're doing it there, and hopefully we'll be launching soon. But the more email sign-up we get, which is kind of weird for me because I'm like, this is very 1999.
Yeah.
No, but that's what they do. So, there you go. So, if you guys would sign up, it'd be awesome. And whoever's
just go to Zoop and search for SWAT, or do we have to get a specific email from you right now?
Well, no, Zoop.gg is the website. If you scroll down to upcoming projects, you'll see SWAT. It's also Zoop/C/SWAT1 if you want to do it that way. But it's just scroll down, you'll see it. And just put your email in and hit submit. That's all we need at this point. So
Nice. Well, maybe we should look into this. A lot of really solid looking covers at the very least from people on here. Yep, found it.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of curated. It's not just it's not like Kickstarter where anyone who starts a page can start a page, right? They've looked at the pitch material, they've seen the art, and they thought it was a good project. So they have vouched for it at least a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll put my no money where my mouth is. I just sent my email.
Awesome. That's all I need at this point. It is hard, man.
Yeah.
It is hard to get any attention at all for anything. It seems like online. I'm pretty ungifted at social media due to me hating it. But yeah, I need to figure that out.
It
Same.
seems like it becomes a full-time job to just churn out product, to churn out social media stuff that will get attention, constantly get attention. You have to truly whore yourself out just to get eyes on you. Or do grassroots stuff like this. Talk to people personally who have some sort of following and get their people interested in your stuff. And I agree. I find that's a much more honorable way to go about it.
I much more, I love, this is going around to all these podcasts, talking to people has been great. I really like that a lot more than I do trying to scrape attention off of Twitter. That's for sure.
Twitter.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. When you're trying to do something that people really want to do, there's going to be a lot of hurdles. No one's going to make it easy for you, because there's so many people that want to do it. They don't need to make it easy for you. But it's fine. We'll get there.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a running gag amongst us, and I won't tip the hand, but Dances with Wolves. How do you feel about that?
Man,
The movie?
Yeah.
just tell me it's
I haven't seen it for about 30 years, and I think it would age super great, but, sure. I don't know. I like Waterworld.
That's a
Interesting.
rare. Yeah, okay, let's say you were part of a group that was doing a top 100 movies of all time that are not ranked in any way, and you randomly get pulled as the first person to name a movie, and the one that gets through is Dances with Wolves. Would you call that the greatest movie of all time?
That's a weird first choice.
Right? Right?
I agree with that.
yeah.
Okay, so now slanders has begun.
Well, I
Actual
think
facts. All facts.
I think if we were coming up with a top 100 list among 5 of us, it's a weird 20th choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, motherfucker. Okay, so now, Justin, if it was chosen first overall, would it now be deemed the number one movie on the list?
Now,
What?
If it was picked one overall, would it be deemed the number one movie on the list?
Sure.
Yes, that's a yes. Everyone knows it. All right, we can go.
you had to.
But
But
he's trying to
see,
answer your question.
the part that you always leave out is you had to force it in like a fucking tentacle.
Okay, no callbacks about rape tentacles, okay? Oh, my boner subsided. I don't
was
need
it the
that
fifth
anymore.
movie? Was it like, didn't you throw out a whole bunch before that? And
Yeah,
then,
and then
we were
he-
fine, Dances with Wolves, let's move on.
Yeah, but we didn't.
No.
We didn't vote it in.
No,
No.
that was his out the gate first choice.
Out the gate, I said there's no way this isn't a layup. I served it like this, and you all just smacked my hand.
Yeah, we didn't vote it in. You ended up eating the spicy Dorito.
Yeah.
I do remember getting a copy of Dances with Wolves from McDonald's with an extra value meal.
Okay. And you know what? Think about that for a second, everybody. They don't do that anymore. That's how
Yeah, 'cause they don't
prominent
pay
that
them
movie. Well, think about that.
Did used to have video cassettes back in the day. That was
Dude.
That was a
I
thing.
mean, in 1992, that was the huge movie. It was that massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Field of Dreams or after?
It was after.
Yeah, well, Kevin
Pretty sure.
Costner on a real tear there for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's either baseball or westerns. Bull Durham,
Hey.
Field of Dreams.
Let's not forget Prince of Thieves.
I already forgot that.
You know everything.
He's like he's such a boomer guy. Those are all great like boomer dad movies.
Yeah.
I think he's making like another Western. He like sold one of his California houses, and he's like making a Western again.
Yeah, it's called Horizon. I keep seeing the ads for it.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I think I saw something about that getting a standing ovation at a film festival or something like that recently.
And we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I like Kevin Costner quite a bit. I thought The Postman was underrated, even though it was just Waterworld on land. But Waterworld is kind of underrated.
I miss Silverado Costner when he was the young, fun guy, but he's not young anymore, and I don't know if he's fun.
I don't know that one. Is that pre-Field of Dreams? Are we talking like early 80s?
Yeah. Silverado is one of the best ensemble movies ever. If you like westerns, I would advise. We'll leave with this. If you enjoy westerns with a lot of people, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, that person's in it." Check out Silverado.
Okay.
It's like Young Guns.
It's like Young Guns, but
more.
watchable.
Hey, don't you besmirch Young Guns.
Watchable.
Don't besmirch Young Guns.
I tried to watch that, and it was very like 80s video. I don't know. It was odd. It was odd.
It's one. I think it's technically one big montage. I enjoyed our conversation. It's unfortunate that we don't have a complete Zoom setup and can't go longer because we were running on fumes. But it was a really great time. Kyle, you have something to say?
I hate to cut you off, Mike, but I don't want to end this interview on Dances with Wolves.
God,
so I think
damn it.
the appropriate follow-up question to that is, if Justin had the option out the gate to give one movie for the top 100 list, what would he pick?
Mad Max Fury Road. I love that shit.
Great movie.
Terminator 2, also Aliens. I think all three would be, up there. LA Confidential is a movie.
That movie.
It really holds up. That's one of the three movies that I think are better than the book. That, Fight Club, and Children of Men. In each case, the movie is way better than the book. And that's the only three I can think of.
Great choices. So, one more time, SWAT, check it out on zook.gg. Give them your email. It's just a few letters and some numbers, maybe, if you're that kind of person. Check
You
it
can
out.
even put in a fake one. I wouldn't mind.
So, we thank you for your time. I hope you get at least more than me out of this whole deal. I have been Mike.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And it was fun. Hopefully I'll come back soon.
Thanks for Nerdities.
So
I was going to say, I don't know if he has any other socials that he wants to drop. I know he's not a big social guy, but...
just Justin Coke on Blue Sky, and then Justin Coke 6161 on Threads and Instagram. That's pretty much it. I don't do Twitter or Facebook. I probably should, but
Kind of smart that you don't.
Yeah, they both suck.
I mean, they suck. I mean, Facebook's been awful. I quit years ago because for a lot of reasons. One is that all the people I went to high school with are kind of boring, but So
Yeah, I didn't go to my reunion either.
I went to the first one. I mean, it was all right. It was fine. I just mean, stop. Like, I had one lady that was posting PETA stuff 10 times in a row, every 2 minutes. So that kind of stuff. The thing with the internet is, it's cool for a while, and then the idiots show up, and they just sort of slowly ruin the place.
Yeah. Words of wisdom. Say that about so many things.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Hope we helped out at least a little bit, hopefully a lot. Good evening to you, and good evening to our fair listeners. We always end it the same way. Fuck bye.
Fuck bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's another one of our catchphrases.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.